Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back again with the CBD Incubator and the CBD Business Accelerator. This is one of our final episodes of the CBD Incubator, and probably definitely one of the most important topics, SEO. I work with some of the biggest brands in the industry, and SEO is one of the things that makes them some of the biggest brands in the industry. That's how they're getting the bulk of their sales. And so we have a special guest, Tom Oxley, on board today. Thanks for joining us, Tom.
Hey, Matt, first of all, it's a real pleasure and a real honor and a privilege to be here with you today and have the opportunity to speak to your fine community. And yeah, thank you for having me on. It's a real pleasure to be here.
I feel the same about you joining us, Tom. And Tom is one of the top SEO experts in the world. He works with McDonald's, Coca-Cola, other Fortune 500 companies, as well as CBD brands. And so he's in the trenches he knows exactly what we need to hear today. So I'm excited to talk to you and learn more about SEO. Like SEO to me is like this Greek language, it's like a whole nother world. And so I'm excited to learn more about it. And, I know a little bit about SEO, but definitely it's just like, I think it's a specialty that it's deep, and there's a lot of information in that world. And so that's why I'm excited for you to be able to show our listeners and watchers the foundations of SEO, because that's important, because I can guarantee you most of the people that are in the accelerator don't have that foundation. So this is perfect.
Sure. Well, I'll give examples and explanations of things that are applicable for just about any budget. So brands that are starting out on a shoestring budget, and then also brands that have a big budget. Everything that I'm explaining can be applied depending on the budget available. But it's important to get the fundamentals right. And once you've got the fundamentals right, you can literally scale and add on as you go according to the budget available.
That's perfect. Yeah, 'cause I was talking to my buddy last week. He has a CBD brand, and he was telling me he spends $40,000 a month to rank for CBD gummies, just to rank for that term.
Before we go any further, talking about highly targeted traffic from Google, what is SEO? Okay, we talk about SEO. It's become this, I need SEO, but I don't quite know what it is. My friend's having a lot of success with SEO, but SEO is just this weird acronym that's like, what is SEO? So SEO obviously stands for search engine optimization. As an SEO, we need to learn a language, and that language is Google. Google is the primary search engine in the world right now. It dominates the market in search engines. The most lucrative language that I have learned is undoubtedly Google. Going back to basics, the internet is a global network of computers that works much like the postal system, only at sub-second speeds. Just as the postal service enables people to send one another envelopes containing messages, the internet enables computers to send one another small packets of digital data. So there's these small packets of digital data flying around this thing called the internet. Okay, so what is the World Wide Web? The World Wide Web, commonly known as the web, is an information system where documents and other web resources are identified by uniform resource locators. Okay, a URL, which is basically a digital address, which may be interlinked, so we're already talking about links, by hypertext and are accessible over the internet. So a search engine is a software system that is designed to carry out web searches, which means to search the World Wide Web in a systematic way for particular information specified in a textual web search query. So basically, a search engine does what we tell it to. We go into a search engine, we search for something, and that search engine has the job of providing the most accurate answer to our question or query. So moving on to e-commerce, we need to present the information on our website in a way that a search engine understands it. So we're talking about content management systems. How do we manage the content on our website, and how do we present that information to a search engine in a way that the search engine understands us? Which content management system is the best content management system for Google to arrive on your website, read the information, extract the information it needs, send that information back to its databases, rank your website according to how you've prepared that content. Okay, so this is important when it comes to optimizing a website for Google search engines. WordPress is very powerful. And The reason is WordPress is the most used content management system in the world and powers over 35% of the entire internet, and with good reason. So the code in a WordPress website is really understandable for a search engine. Search engine, there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of WordPress websites out there, and WordPress sites rank well on Google due to the technical features that make personalized customization and search engine optimization possible. So Google understands WordPress well, and WordPress is great for that. Developers with extraordinary SEO knowledge can leverage that understanding and influence search results with highly technical optimization. So SEO starts with content management. Why not have the best? And that's, again, WordPress. Then we use WooCommerce. So WooCommerce, customizable e-commerce, is powered by trust, and WooCommerce is built on WordPress. Google needs to index and rank content on a website. So with content at the core, working on top of the world's most powerful content management system, WooCommerce seamlessly integrates commerce with content. Okay, so that's the CMS. We've gone over the internet, the World Wide Web, search engines, what CMS to use, e-commerce. Moving on, brand. Okay, so CBD is a saturated niche. Yes, we all know that. There are many CBD brands out there, but there's no such thing as a saturated niche if you build a brand. So build a brand. Google loves brands too, just by the way, as much as people do. So build a brand and be rewarded. And when it comes to brands, I'm not going to say anything else. Speak to Paul Booth. He's the man. And if I talk more about brands, he's my partner. He's going to kick my ass because that's his area of expertise. And he knows so much more about building amazing brands than I do. A search engine needs to understand exactly what we want it to understand. So not only should a search engine understand the content on our website, this random content that we decide to put up because it looks nice, we actually want to influence rankings by telling Google what we want Google to know. And if we can tell Google what we want Google to know, then we can really start influencing search results. Okay, so we're talking about on-page SEO optimization and making sure that Google can understand what's on our website. The tools that we use, Ahrefs is amazing. SEMrush, also very good. Data for SEO, that's for high volume data. So if you're going to need a lot of data, this is generally more for agencies than it is for small businesses. Google Trends is an amazing tool to really get into what's going on from a search point of view on Google. Google Analytics and all the Google suite of tools are really important to understand and use. Moz SEO is great. Rand Fishkin has done a great job over the years, really is a great resource out there for information. Search funnels, we have our own proprietary software and tools that we put out there and use as well ourselves for ranking websites. Then when it comes to content and copy and optimized content, we use Seo For SEO, Copy AI, Phrase.io, and Grammarly. Okay. Then moving on to the actual website itself. Now, if we talk about the website structure and the information architecture, how we actually build the site out, it's just like building a house. Okay. You need to have a defined plan of how every single page is going to be built out on your website. So you're going to have your home page, and then you're going to have a series of internal pages that are built out. And you really need to have a well-defined strategy on how you're going to build those pages out and what content you're going to populate or put on those pages. Okay, so the information architecture is extremely important, and you need to have a decent roadmap as to how you're going to build that website out before you build it and just start randomly building stuff. You need to really lay it all out and understand exactly what you're doing. Okay, a website like CDFX, they are a decent example to follow, and they're really a website that I would like to use to give an example, because they're a fine example of a WordPress site that's really well optimized, and yeah, they're doing things right. So this is what humans see. Okay, when we arrive on this website, this is what we see. And when Google arrives on this website, this is what Google sees. Okay, so the difference between this and this is quite massive, right? There's a huge difference between this beautiful looking page and then all of this code here. So Google sees this, and a good SEO really speaks and understands this, And yeah, knowing what all this code means and how to optimize it is really the difference between success or failure of a website. So we need to optimize this code, and we need to know what all of this code is all about. And the code in the website is really our direct line of communication with Google. Okay, so how do we take the success that other websites are having and understand what they're doing to be so successful? Well, we can reverse engineer what they're doing. So success leaves clues, and just search for any CBD related term in Google and see what comes up in the top 10 results. Go and have a look at their website. And if you start really looking at their website properly to see how things are actually laid out, then it suddenly becomes clear that yeah, there are some really cool things that people are doing to websites to really rank them well in Google. So if we just take a look at the CBDFX collections, CBD vape pens, look at that page, for example. Okay, that page, or that collections page, gets around 38,000 to 40,000 monthly traffic. Now, these are just approximate numbers. So, you know, this is just an approximate figure based on the keywords that this page is ranking for in Google. Then we get a number of organic traffic, an approximate number of organic traffic that this particular page is going to get for all the keywords that that page is ranking for. So the page is ranking for 1,000, well, it's indexed for 1,281 keywords. And from those 1,281 keywords, it gets around 40,000 monthly traffic. That's to this particular page over here. This collection CBD vape juice one is also doing very well. And then this CBD gummies page gets around 12,000 organic traffic. Again, these are just approximate numbers, and it's indexed for 251 keywords. So from those 251 keywords that this page is indexed for, it's getting around 12,000 monthly traffic. CBD gummies is one of the strongest words that it's ranking for, and that's obviously generating a lot of its traffic.
Hey, okay. Tom, sorry to interrupt you, but what's the value mean? The value part mean?
Yes, sure. Basically, this value is an approximate number. So if this person were to pay for paid traffic, it's more or less the value that they would pay. Now, obviously, you cannot pay for paid traffic in Google. So it's an estimated value based on PPC. So it's not accurate, okay, because you can't pay for Google Ads to CBD websites. So it is an estimation of what it would cost if they were paying Google for Google Ads.
Gotcha.
Okay, so if we just start digging deeper down into this page, okay, we'll dig down into a few of them and see what's actually going on these pages. So this particular page here, cbdfx.com collections CBD vape pens. This is what I refer to as a power page, okay? And as I said, it's 1,281 organic keywords, around 40,000 organic traffic from search for all the keywords that it's indexed and ranking for, okay? Then the CBD gummies one, which I refer to, just to go over again, this is a power page. I suggest everyone watching this, go over to Google, put this in on a desktop, on a mobile phone. It'll be difficult to see exactly what I'm referring to, but on a desktop with a few minutes, go and visit this page and have a look at it, okay? For example, if you search for CBD gummies in Google, the page that we're talking about here, cbdfx.com collection CBD gummies, this is how this page appears in Google for the term CBD gummies, okay? They've got these FAQs in here, and I'll show you further on in the slides how you get this kind of result and how you optimize this kind of page to get these amazing, beautiful, good-looking results that actually take up a decent piece of digital real estate. So the more space you can take up in the results, the more real estate you're getting, right? So by getting these rich snippets here with these added FAQs down there, that's really getting more real estate, and obviously you're going to get more clicks, more CTR, and you know, more people to your website. But also having these FAQs in here, you can click on them, and you know, Google is extracting that information from that page and populating the search results with those FAQs right there. So yeah, it's a decent optimized, decently optimized page, and we'll dig down or drill down deeper into this page as we move forward. So as I said, 251 organic keywords, around 12,000 organic traffic from search. Top keyword is CBD gummies. That's a pretty decent one to be ranking for, right? So this gets a little bit complicated, and we might need to, perhaps whoever's watching this, just, I don't know, take a screenshot or bear with me for a few seconds here. I will explain this with visuals as we move on, but I need to summarize the category pages and how they are optimized in words before I start showing you from a data point of view how it's actually done, right? So the H1 tag is the main keyword, which is going to be CBD gummies in this case. So while you're building out the content on this page, your H1 needs to be the primary keyword, which in this case is going to be CBD gummies. And that's what we call a hybrid intent keyword. I'm not going to go into that. It's quite complicated because there's different types of intent behind a keyword. And that in itself is like a 4-hour presentation just on the types of intent behind the keyword. So then if you look at that actual page, right, there's 3 to 4 lines at the top. Under the H1, CBD gummies, then there's 3 to 4 lines below explaining the products on offer, okay? And then you've got all the products on offer, okay? And then below all the products on offer, you've got content, highly optimized content. And then you've got an FAQ section. What you want is a minimum of 4 questions. Okay, question, answer, question, answer. You want to put in a minimum of 4. Look at this particular page that we're talking about, and you'll see that there's a whole lot more. You want to use an H3 tag for the question, and then a paragraph for the answer. You want to use 3 lines for the answer. And then you want to include breadcrumbs. I will explain what breadcrumbs are as we move forward, but you want breadcrumbs at the top of each page as well. I'll show you what breadcrumbs are and what they mean. You want to set, now this is important. This is a problem that I see all the time, where you have a category page, which is a power page, okay, which we're building, optimizing with the intent of ranking, where people have then product pages or individual or single product pages that are competing with the category page because the product page is over optimized, and therefore Google does not know which page to serve for the query because your product page and your category page are competing with each other. So the simple fix for that is you have your power pages that you build and optimize to rank, and your product pages, you are not trying to rank your product page. You're trying to rank your category page. Keyword cannibalization is where you've got 2 pages on the same website competing for the same keyword, and Google doesn't know which one to serve, and it generally bounces around and never gets anywhere, okay? Because if you confuse Google, then you're doing something wrong. You don't want to confuse Google ever. Then you want categories in the menu or drop-down. I'll show you what that means. You also want categories, the link from the home page with exact match anchors. Now, and an exact match anchor is when you put a word on your any kind of navigation, and the link that you put inside that word in the navigation, you want to use an exact match anchor in there. I will show you examples of this. Then you need to use Copy AI for content, and you need to use Phrase.io for topic keywords. Now, you know, Google's algorithm over the years has really advanced a lot. And right now we are in the era of BERT and Big Bird, which is basically natural language processing. And I will go into natural language processing a little bit, but I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole on that because that in itself is also a whole other presentation. So yes, then the link that you put inside the logo, this is a nice little trick. You have the alt tag as the anchor keyword inside the actual link to the logo. Okay, I'll show you what that is as well. Moving on. What are breadcrumbs? So I've talked about breadcrumbs previously. Breadcrumbs is basically a secondary navigation system that shows a user's location on a site or web app, okay? And let's just go over that quickly here. For example, on the CBDFX site, these things over here, these are secondary navigation system or breadcrumbs. So up here, we've got the top navigation, and down here, we've got the breadcrumbs. Leaving these breadcrumbs or including these breadcrumbs in the way you build a website, and then using the keyword, okay, anchor text for that particular section is extremely important when it comes to on-page optimization and really ranking that page for those keywords. So that CBDFX page for CBD gummies, the anchor text inside the breadcrumbs is CBD gummies for that page. Okay, so that's the stuff on the front end. And the secondary navigation system or breadcrumbs is extremely important because the Google bot, when it crawls the website, can literally crawl around that. And by including those keywords in those anchor texts, you basically helping the site rank without any external links. These are internal links to your website, and you're boosting up those particular pages because of those optimized anchor text inside those breadcrumb links in the secondary navigation system. Here's another one. This is a brand we all know, doing very well, as we all know. And again, as you can see, okay, success leaves clues. Here we go. They've got that secondary navigation system with highly optimized keywords in the anchor text for that breadcrumb secondary navigation system. So CBDFX has it, Pure kind of has it as well. Okay, that's what structured data is. Structured data is spoon feeding Google with exactly what we want to tell Google. It's our direct line. If you could have a phone conversation with a Google bot, that's what structured data is. You're like, okay, dude, I want you to do this, 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 and this. And that's pretty much what you're doing with schema or structured data. Spoon feeding Google with exactly what you want Google to know. So when it comes to structured data, there are different types, and there are different types of schema that needs to be included on different types of pages. So FAQ schema, with the CBDFX example that I gave earlier, if you look at their page and you stick it into the Google structured data tool, I'll show you how to actually do this yourselves, where you can just identify what structured data pages are using. This FAQ schema for category pages, there are templates. You can literally just use a template, or you can reverse engineer, take what the top ranking sites are doing, use their template, and then fill in your information. That is a really cool way of doing it. The beautiful thing about SEO and working on the internet and ranking sites, it's like playing poker. It's like playing a game of cards, and or blackjack or 21. Okay, and I've got my cards, you've got your cards, and all I got to do to just find out how to beat you, okay, if we're playing 21, for example, is I can just lean over, look at your cards, okay, and see what you have and decide what I need to beat you, pull that card out of my sleeve, whack it in my hand, and put down the cards and win. And that's pretty much the power. It's a bit of an extreme example, but it's pretty much the power we have on the internet, because people that are doing well are, all the information is there for us to see. So when a site ranks well, it gets in front of attention from all the right people, which are the people that are trying to show that information to, or sell a product to, or interact with, okay? But then you also get in front of all, not the wrong people, but anybody that wants to copy you can very, very easily do so by just reverse engineering your strategy. So when it comes to FAQ schema or structured data, we can literally see what structured data people are using with the structured data tools provided by Google. And I'll show you where they are. For the FAQ schema, that's on the category pages. Then organization schema for the home page. You can just look for a template or copy one of the major sites, see what schema they are using, and replace that schema with your information. And then, what was the tip here? Okay, yes, you can also use collection page schema for category pages. Depending on who your primary or secondary or third competitor is, see what kind of schema they're using and go for what they're doing. You know, if Google is ranking them or serving them on the first page, it's generally something to be looked at and try and do what they're doing. Okay, so when there's people out there doing well, if you want to win, go and see what the winners are doing and do what they're doing, and you'll be a winner. If you want to lose, then go and see what the losers are doing, and you'll be a loser, right? So success leaves clues, and reverse engineer what the successful sites are doing. And the successful sites really are doing things well because Google is serving them number one. And it starts with, or on the first page at least, and that starts with on-page optimization, and structured data. Structured data is a really important part of that because we can just spoon feed Google with the information we want it to know. Breadcrumb schema is another bit of structured data to include. And again, that's just a template. Structured data needs to go in the header. It can go in the footer of the page as well, but it needs to go in the header of the page. It's quite easy. It's literally just copy paste a whole long line of code and slap it in there. but you really need to see what the main sites that are ranking, what they are doing, and then use that as a template and do that yourself. And you just paste that code in to all the devs out there. You just paste that code in their head, and they'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, just Google structured data testing tool. Okay, it's really easy to do. You just go into Google, you say Google structured data testing tool, and you take any page that's ranking well on the internet, that's in your niche, that's doing really well, and you take that page and you paste it into Google structured data testing tool, and it will show you exactly what schema they are using. There's a collection page schema, there's an FAQ page schema, and you can then click on these and take the template that they are using, and then just add remove their information, obviously, and add your information in there, and then use that as your template and copy and paste it into the header of the page. Obviously, this is information for bots, so it's not visible on the front end. This is the code, geeky SEO stuff that we're talking about. This has nothing to do with front end design. This is all code at the back that Google sees that people don't. Moving on. Okay. Google does not rank websites. Now, this is really important. People are like, can you rank my website for me, please? And I'm like, well, you need to understand that Google does not rank websites. Google ranks pages on websites for the content they contain. So, Google has a really important job to keep users using Google and not going elsewhere. Google really needs to provide safe, accurate, relevant, up-to-date answers to people's questions. And in order to do that, as web owners or web designers or web developers or webmasters, we need to make sure that the content on our pages on our website are both accurate, safe, reliable, true, and among the best pieces of content out there for Google to serve as a result for somebody's query. Okay. Now it's a multifactorial thing, but it starts with the content. It starts with how well the page is built, how well the page is optimized, and then the words and content on that page. Google needs content on a page in order to index that page in Google's index, and then rank that page on whatever position it decides to, based on a whole series of metrics that that page has going on for it, right? So when it comes to content, we're currently in what is being referred to as Big Bird. Prior to Big Bird, it was BERT. And basically what we're talking about here is natural language processing, or NLP. Not to be confused with neuro-linguistic programming, because that's something else. But natural language processing is basically how Google's algorithm works currently. Well, Big Bird is that natural language processing element to Google right now. And basically what it's saying is, if we look down here at A, okay, you've got random attention. So this would be how a search engine arrives on a page and starts reading the content and copy on that page. Okay. Now, A is random attention, B is window attention, C is global attention, and currently D, Big Bird. If you look at the amount of attention that Google's Big Bird is currently paying to the content on a page, previously we were just talking about keywords and then maybe a word in front of the keyword, like best CBD gummy or best CBD gummies or vegan CBD gummies. Okay, Google is not only looking at that now. Google is looking at 3, 4, 5, 10 keywords, 15 words around the primary keyword, and being able to optimize and include those words that Google wants to find around the primary keyword. And understanding that is vital to creating optimized, SEO optimized content for search engines. And they will deem that content worthy based on how well it is optimized for NLP and Google's Big Bird. So how do we do that? Again, that's tools, and I'll get into that. So the moral of the story is, don't use shitty content. Excuse my French, but I see it all the time. I see websites that the content is not written by a person with English as a first language. For example, there's grammar mistakes. The content doesn't make sense. And I'm like, well, where did you get this content from? I'm like, yeah, no, we bought 10 articles from the content guy. And I'm like, but what the hell is this? I don't even understand it. How do you expect Google to serve this content as a worthy piece of trusted information to serve to a Google user after they've performed a query. You really need to create excellent content, excellent for humans, and SEO optimized content for Google and Google's Big Bird, and how Google is processing the content on your page and what Google is looking for. Now, with tools and with data analyzing, or tools that analyze the data, we can then identify what type of keywords and additional keywords we need in our content. If we're focusing on going for a keyword like CBD gummies, for example, there are all sorts of other keywords that we need to have around that content. And we can identify with tools how much content we need. You know, for certain queries, Google is serving 2,000 words, 3,000 words, 4,000 words of content for a particular query. In other keywords, it's only serving 500, 600. We need to identify what Google is currently serving for that query and build our content around that, because what Google is currently serving for that query is what Google wants to serve. Okay, so we need to see what Google is doing and then build our content around what Google is already serving for that query. Make it at least as good as the top 10 ranking sites, or better. Okay, we can be as good as and be competitive, or better and win. Okay, so our content needs to be written for both humans and search engines. This is really, really important. No shitty content, please. Your content is so important. All I can say, I cannot stress this point enough. Do not put shitty content on a website. We've had cases where I've come on a website and I've arrived on a page reading out the content, and I'm like, but this is even talking about another brand. So all they've done is they've copied and pasted. They haven't even taken the time to edit out the website that they copied the content from, and just boom, slap that content on. I'm like, but this is plagiarized content. Now, when it comes to plagiarized content and copying content from other websites, it is a massive no-no. Number one, because you'll find yourself in a spot of trouble with the website that you've copied the content from, because they've got DMCA protected scans going on, scanning the internet for content on other websites that has come from their website. So you'll find yourself in a spot of bother with them. That will also get de-indexed from Google. You can't copy content from another website. You need to write unique pieces of quality content that tick all the right boxes for humans and for Google. Vital importance is the content. So how do you do this? Well, you use software to reverse engineer the top 10 ranking pages for the keyword you're targeting. So let's say you're targeting, we'll use CBD gummies as an example again. You go for the top 10 ranking pages and you reverse engineer their content. You look at the content that is on each of their pages, and you'll immediately see certain keywords that appear around the main keyword. Now, this can be done manually, but this should be done with software, because there's software out there, which I've mentioned previously, Phrase.io, Copy AI, Seo For SEO, our proprietary stuff at Search Funnels, for really creating optimized pieces of content and copy for both humans and search engines. So write content at least as good as the content Google is already serving for that query. So important, so easy, because you can see what's there, and you just got to do as well as them, if not better. So these are the tools, as I mentioned: Surfer, Search Funnels, Copy AI, Phrase.io, and Grammarly. Those are some of the available tools. All of them are great. And if you have the budget, I suggest checking them out before writing your content, instead of just getting some random content slapped up. Like, people buy content today by word count. So they say, okay, I want to write an article on this topic in the CBD space. Is CBD good for anxiety? So they contact their copy dude and they say, right, I need 500 words on CBD for anxiety. Which I don't suggest, by the way. I'm just saying this is what I've seen. When it comes to medical claims and things like that, please speak to professionals. We have many in this group that can tell you exactly what you can and can't include in your content from a medical claims point of view and FDA regulatory point of view. So please do your due diligence when it comes to medical claims. However, for the point of this example, so people just get this random 500 word article on CBD, the benefits of CBD for anxiety. And they slap that up on their website, and they're like, okay, well, it's not ranking. It's obvious that it's not going to rank. Google is a highly optimized, highly advanced search engine that has invested millions in creating and artificial intelligence that can read and understand information almost, not yet, but it's getting there, as well as human beings. So it's understanding and ability to understand and perceive things from pieces of content are getting far greater and far more advanced. And we can't just slap up any old content anymore. It has to be highly optimized, unique pieces of content written by copywriters and obviously journalists and amazing people out there that really provide solid pieces of content. Now,
Tom, sorry to jump in, but you got me scared over here. I just was thinking, what if Google's AI gets so good that they start building their own brands? And then we got to compete against the artificial intelligence.
Okay, well, absolutely. The point that you're making is completely valid, and there are cases against Google for doing exactly that, favoring their own stuff. Now, I won't go into that, and I won't go too far off the beaten track here. But yeah, Google is in such a position of power right now that they can pretty much choose what goes where. Now, there is human intervention. Okay, there are manual reviews, but what we've got to understand is this is an AI. This is a thing that's going out, reading all the information on the internet, collecting what it needs, and deciding who ranks where. Every now and again, depending on a case-by-case basis, very rarely, a very small percentage of the time, there is a human looking at stuff and saying, oh, there might be some dodgy stuff here. Now, when there's dodgy SEO practices, spammy links, things like that going on behind a website, the algorithm flags it, okay? Now, if the algorithm can figure out exactly that it's completely dodgy, it'll just de-index the website. However, generally speaking, there's some human intervention there. They go in and they have a look, they check out the backlinks, they check what's going on with the website, and that human then decides whether to manually remove that website from the internet or not. So yeah, when it comes to content, we really need to use optimized content, and we can't just bang up any old junk anymore. It has to be amazing content. Just think that there are so many websites out there, so many pages and pages, like billions of pages of content on the internet.
Wow.
And Google needs to choose which ones to serve for that query. Okay?
Yeah, and it always goes back to content, Tom. Like when I talk to brands, I say, you want to be a content company that happens to sell CBD, or a media company that happens to sell CBD. And even on Facebook ads, like, we primarily do a lot of Facebook ads for clients and Instagram ads. It all boils down to content on that side too. The better content gets the highest return on ad spend.
Exactly. So I couldn't agree with you more. Content is of vital importance, and I've really hammered this point home, but I've done it on purpose because I've seen too many people failing because of this particular topic.
Oh yeah, I've been guilty in the past of hiring. Oh, let's bang out these articles with this team over in overseas, and it's just So yeah, I've been guilty of it in the past, man. It's hard as an entrepreneur, and you don't have a big team, and you're trying to do everything, and so. But it's important to find the right content creators on your team that can do it in a manner that's proper English, and use Grammarly as well. That's a great tool.
Yes, exactly. So when it comes to content, and this logic applies to links as well, which we'll get to in a bit. When it comes to content, I say, instead of whacking out 10 articles on your blog, do 2. Instead of whacking out 10 junk articles, do 2 that you've spent, $200, $300 on, instead of doing 10 that you've spent $200, $300 on, but it's all rubbish, because all of those rubbish articles will not do anything for you.
It's going to make it worse for you.
Exactly. Google's going to say, right, the quality on the site, the quality of the content on the site is rubbish. I do not trust the site. I will not serve this content as a result. Number 1. Number 2, if anybody is unlucky enough to land on that garbage content, they'll be like, what the hell is this? Like, why would I even buy anything from this website? So content is not about ticking the content box. Content is about putting really relevant, pertinent, accurate, useful information that the user is going to enjoy. So when they arrive and start consuming that content, they're really going to walk away with something valuable, instead of just being like, what the hell is this, and bouncing. If somebody lands on your page, starts reading your content, and bounces, you've lost the.
You're done. Yeah, it's their first impression of you. So you want to make it a great first impression. And those are the people that like I get emails a lot. The best content from the best companies, I keep them on my email list. I don't unsubscribe because they're sending me valuable things that I want to learn about. And sorry to jump off track on your presentation, but I thought it was important to really hammer it in like you have been. But just, it's all about content, people.
I appreciate it. Content is really important. Now, there are some amazing AI tools that understand what Google is looking for, understand the natural language processing side of things. Surfer is one of them. Copy AI is another. Phrase, Grammarly. We have some proprietary stuff in search funnels, and we cannot stress enough. I cannot stress enough the importance of writing really well optimized content for both humans and Google bots. So yeah, this is an important item to kind of sum up what we've just gone with regards to content. So Google does not rank websites. Google serves pages on websites as search results for the content they contain, combined with the authority of the website and the relevance of the content with reference to the search query performed by the Google user. So we need to match our content with the intent of the person that made the search. And if we can match our content with the intent, that's from a content side, and then our website is trusted and we have enough authority, and that's about links and off-page SEO, then all of a sudden we're ranking, okay? So yeah, it's really important to understand that Google does not rank websites. It serves pages on websites for the content they have on that page. Now, backlinks. We've gone over a lot of stuff. Backlinks is a big one. And what are backlinks? How do you build backlinks? How should you build backlinks? How can you build backlinks? Do backlinks work? There are all sorts of questions around backlinks. And all I can say initially, and I'm going to start with this, I'm also going to end with this, quality beats quantity hands down. When it comes to links, 10, 15 years ago, when I was ranking sites, number one, there were a whole lot less websites on the internet. Number two, Google's algorithm, or Google itself, was not as advanced as it is right now. And it was literally just a case of keyword stuffing on the page, putting up some random content, and then quantity beat everything. The more links you got, the better you ranked. You didn't have to have amazing content, etc. Since then, things have advanced so much that I would far rather get one quality relevant link from an authority in my niche with traffic than 100 links from any other place. So quality beats quantity hands down when it comes to links. And I'm going to go over this because there are a lot of different types of links and a lot of things people can do, especially as new brands, to start building links and actually getting somewhere on the internet. So we've gone over how to build the website. We've gone down some really complicated concepts of how to optimize a page, how to build a page, and how to build out a website, and the structured data that goes into that, the importance of the quality content, and now links. Okay, links are really important. Yes, we do need links. And what kind of links can we build? Okay, so let's look at links. Not just any links will do. You need backlinks from relevant and high quality domains. This means that the days of buying backlinks, producing spam content, submitting it to Web 2.0 sites and leaving thousands of spam comments are dead. Those days are over. That worked back in the day, unfortunately, or back in the good old days. Unfortunately, those days are over. The best kind of links you can get are contextual links. This means that strategies like guest blogging and networking with high quality bloggers in your niche are still relevant. Okay, so how do you get enough relevant links, particularly in a niche like CBD, where there are these terms that are not accepted on certain platforms, etc. Certain news sites will not frown on it, but it's harder to get links from a whole lot of media outlets in the CBD space than it is for other spaces. Now, I've worked in several what they call gray markets, areas where it's kind of like a gray area still. There's a lot of legal things that are undefined and not clear yet. And there's generally a lot of money to be made in these niches. And yeah, Google organic traffic, particularly in these types of niches, especially where there are a lot of uncertainties with regards to the legalities and difficulty to do paid traffic. Although when I talk about paid traffic, please speak to Matt and Aaron about Facebook ads. I'm not going to go there. They know what they're doing. That has nothing to do with me. But getting links from relevant sites and high quality sites, you can get 10, you can get 30, 40, 50, yourself. But how do you actually get 1,000 or 10,000 relevant links for a niche like this? And I'll get to that. And it's possible. It isn't cheap, okay? But you can scale and move along according to the budget. As your business grows, you can start getting more and more. And I'll show you how that should be done, how it can be done. And here comes the steps. So if we look at CBDFX, for example, again, I'm going to stick to this as a constant because I've gone with this as an example site throughout the presentation. What links can we build? Okay, so right now, if we look at this information, this is from Ahrefs, a tool that we use a lot. Their Ahrefs ranks is 68,000. That's just a number for where they are ranked on the internet as a website. So out of all the websites, they are ranked number 68,000. Now, if you put any other not so well ranked website in there, you'll see that it's in the millions, or the tens of millions. This is a pretty well ranked website from an Ahrefs rank point of view. Then the data in the middle here, the UR and the DR, this is a URL ranking, that's for the page. And then a DR is the domain rating. Now, this is a high UR and DR, it's from 0 to 100. So they're doing pretty well by anyone's, that's really a decent DR, 72. Then they've got 180,000 backlinks currently. That's changing all the time, but approximately 180,000. And then referring domains. So what's the difference between a referring domain and a backlink? Well, a referring domain is a domain that is linking to you. You can only have one referring domain for a domain, okay? But you can have lots of backlinks coming from the same domain. So let's say you've got one referring domain linking to your website, but that one referring domain has 100 links linking to your website, but it's still only one referring domain. So the more referring domains you can get, the better. Backlinks are great, but referring domains is what it's really all about. And the better authority, traffic these referring domains have and relevance to your niche, the better you will do, okay? So yeah, they're ranked for about 12,000 organic keywords. And again, that represents about 115,000 traffic monthly from Google, which is pretty damn good by anyone's standards. If we look at these power pages that we've talked about and kind of gone into how they are built, we can quickly see this is the top 5 pages on CBDFX from a links point of view. Okay, so top performing pages is going to be collection CBD gummies, then collection CBD tincture, then collection CBD hemp capsules, and collection CBD vape juice. Now, the reason these are the top 5 from a links point of view is we can see down here the external links, how many links they actually have pointing at that page. So we've got 59,000 do follow links going to the homepage, around 60,000. And then these power pages that we've kind of drilled into, we can see that they've powered those pages up with a whole lot of links as well, okay? Now, this is where the off-page part of their strategy really starts becoming clear. They've got these highly optimized power pages with the content and the structured data and the breadcrumbs and how everything is set up. And then you've got this off-page strategy with the links. And if we start analyzing these links to see where these links are actually coming from, how the links are actually built, then all of a sudden we start reverse engineering exactly how they are ranking these pages for these terms, because we understand the content, their content strategy, and then we understand their linking strategy as well. And that right there is powerful information to have. So, anyone with an Ahrefs account can get this information themselves. I'm not giving you any secret information here. You can literally get an Ahrefs account and go and have a look at the stuff yourself. But the interpretation of the data is also sometimes quite important, and how you interpret that data and understand it. So backlinks. Links must be relevant and come from websites that have traffic. The spammy link days are over. Please, I cannot stress this enough. Stay away from spammy links. Get relevant links that come from websites that are authoritative and have traffic. One of the biggest signals right now to Google is traffic on a website. If you're getting a link from a site that doesn't have any traffic, It's not nearly as good as a link coming from a site that has a lot of traffic. It makes perfect sense, right? So why would you get thousands of links from sites that don't have any traffic? Why would you do that? Why would that happen? And the probability side of Google's algorithm just flags that and says, well, there's spammy stuff going on here because there's all these thousands of links coming from websites that are just rubbish. They'll either exclude that from their calculations in your ranking, or depending on how you're doing it, they'll flag you for that and penalize you. Maybe you won't get penalized like, kicked out of Google, but you could get a ranking penalization that'll just hold you back. And making sure you don't have that. And then when you do have that, understanding where it came from and what the source was is of vital importance. How to avoid that is don't do any spammy shit. I've gone over it several times. The content cannot be spammy, and the same applies to links. You cannot do spammy links anymore. It's just not gonna do anything for you. It's just not gonna do anything. It's just gonna damage your business. You need to get links from relevant sources that have traffic. So kinds of links. Now, on a shoestring budget, how can you start building links and building out your brand? Okay, so social profiles, business citations, link outreach on highly relevant sites with traffic and link equity. Now, traffic and link equity, basically the traffic that's on the website that is linking to you, you will get some of that referral traffic, which is amazing because it's highly relevant referral traffic, which means they'll spend some time on your site and possibly make a purchase. And then the link equity side is how big of an authority they are in this particular niche. So that link equity gets passed on to you, and depending on how much authority and trust they have in Google's eyes in your niche, some of that is passed on to you because they're linking to you. Okay, so you want links from sites that are really relevant to what you're talking about, that have traffic, at least 1,000 per month. At least you don't want links from sites with less than 1,000 monthly hits, and high link equity. The more the authority and trust that site has, the better. So backlinks, social profiles. Yes, social profiles are great links to get, particularly for a new brand. So let's say you've just bought your domain name. You've got your brand sorted out with Paul, my partner, and he's built you out this amazing brand. And how do you start generating some activity on your page and on your website, and how can you actually start building out some links? And the way it should be done initially is what I like to refer to as the fundamental 5, which is LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. There are more. There can be the fundamental 10 if you like, but I like to talk about these initially. And you drive traffic, you build out these profiles, and you drive traffic from these profiles to your website. Now, driving traffic, organic traffic, by being active on social initially is worth its weight in gold, especially for a new brand, because it sets us up for things that we can do later on or shortly thereafter that we cannot do if we do not have traffic on a site. So Google's algorithm, if you don't have traffic on a website, how can you justify a whole lot of links? Google can see that your site has had X amount of visitors, or there's been this X amount of activity on your website. So how can you justify building out 1,000 links to a website that's had no traffic? It doesn't make sense. And the probability side of the algorithm will say, hang on, red flag, there's something dodgy going on here. People are trying to do something to trick the algorithm. So number one, build out these social profiles. They themselves are good signs of trust to Google, okay? That you have these social profiles, because it's what we all do today, right? We're all on either LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. There are more to that list. I won't go too far down, but I like to talk about these. So you build out these profiles and you drive traffic organically from your profiles by putting up posts, by putting up content, and content that people are actually going to enjoy consuming and reading and think, oh, gee, I like these guys. You're not selling on social. For this, what I'm referring to now, you can, but I'm referring to now just driving traffic and building your brand via social and getting people over to your website. Getting people over to your website from social organic is literally worth its weight in gold, because it gives the right signals to Google, which then allows us to be more aggressive with link building strategies further on down the line. If you don't have these organic signals of people on your website coming in from social, where are you going to get traffic from? Now, there are other options of getting that activity on your website. One way or another, if you're on a shoestring budget, the best way and most affordable way, because it's cheap, or free, is by building out these social profiles, being active on them, getting some engagement, and getting people to go on over to your website. That in itself is a conversion, getting them over to your website, and is a success. That is a success if you get people from social over to your website. That in itself is a successful conversion, okay? Now, what social profiles to build, apart from these 5 that I've mentioned? There are literally thousands of them, okay? There are thousands of social profiles that you can build out. And the best way to do it, particularly on a shoestring budget, is to go to a website called knowem.com, knowem.com, and just put your brand in there, and it will show you all the social profiles that are available for your brand. And you can literally just choose which one you want to build out. And let's say you set up with a spreadsheet, and you do 10 a week or 100 a week or whatever you can fit into your daily schedule, and start building out these social profiles. Now, you don't need to be active on all of them, okay? In fact, being active on 1,000 profiles would be quite a nightmare. However, getting a backlink from them is very valuable, okay? Because basically what you're doing is you're getting your brand out there on all sorts of other profiles, and not just the fundamental 5 that I'm referring to here. So yeah, I really suggest for anyone on a shoestring budget to do that. Anybody that is on a slightly higher budget and can actually afford to hire somebody that specializes in building out social profiles, I suggest they do that, because that's a whole lot more powerful. However, the free way is the one I've just described. And then the paid way is to actually build out the fundamental 5 and then build out strategically certain profiles along the way, and really optimizing how they built and how they are all interlinked. So it's something that I like to call authority stacking, where you start stacking authority behind these social profiles and really building the authority up behind each one of those profiles by stacking them correctly and interlinking them correctly. But here you want your logo up on these social profiles. You want your bio up on these social profiles with some of the keywords related to the products or services, or in this case, products that you're selling on your website. Okay, Knowem is a great site. It's a great resource. So just go and check out your brand. And then if you do have a budget for it, hire a professional to build these out in a strategic way that really gives you a decent boost in authority to your website, as well as traffic from social, etc., because your social gets more engagement as well. So moving on, you need to create an entity. Okay, if it's a new brand, you don't exist. Okay, yesterday you didn't exist on the internet. There are millions of things and people and brands on the internet, and you didn't exist yesterday, and suddenly you exist today. But if you don't do anything about it, you're going to continue not existing tomorrow, right? So you need to create a brand layer around your website. Your website is kind of like the hub, and then you've got a brand layer of social profiles and social sites around your website. And that's number 1, protection for SEO strategies further on down the line. And number 2 is just a quick, easy way of getting the right signals on your website, which is activity, people on your website. And some engagement, start building your brand, and perhaps even get 1 or 2 sales through some of the social activity and driving people over to your website. That needs to be interlinked with a bio and a logo on those properties. IFTTT is a great strategy, but not immediately. Using IFTTT basically is setting up recipes and formulas. Once you've got these social sites built out, is you post on one and use Twitter as the trigger. Just by the way, that's a nice little tip. Use Twitter as the trigger, and then if this then that, with the recipes and formulas that you create at IFTTT, you can literally just trigger all these different activities or sequences to take place by doing one thing on Twitter. Then all of a sudden, boom, 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 it starts just posting all of those out for you. That is a good thing to do. Don't abuse this. Anything that is software related or formulas or recipes related, don't abuse, don't overuse. But it's a good way of getting a lot of content out over a lot of social profiles quite quickly and quite easily. Your Google My Business is probably one of the strongest signs of trust that you can get right now for your business online. So do not underestimate the power of Google My Business. All of you new brands out there, get a Google My Business for your website and your CBD business. Get one. And I will show you what we've had success with and how we've successfully set up and verified Google My Business for CBD Brands. So apart from Google My Business, there are many other types of business citations. Google My Business is a business citation, but basically every time you put up your business information on a business directory site, that is counted as or considered as a business citation. So there are hundreds, if not thousands, of business citations that you can get, and these are very, very good backlinks to get for a brand initially. So the social profiles, then Google My Business, then all the other business citations. These can, some of them are paid and some of them are free, which you can build out yourself or hire a professional, which can then give you a bit of a boost because there's some optimizations to the business citations that can be done that gives them slightly more than just doing it yourself without the SEO knowledge involved. But yeah, on a shoestring budget, you can start building social profiles and you can start building business citations for free. Those are already backlinks, and there are strong signals to Google that you are a business that's going to be around for a while and that you are doing things seriously. You're taking your business seriously and you are trying to get yourself out there in as many places as you can. So how to verify a Google My Business listing for a CBD store? Yeah, I would be careful with the primary and secondary categories. So Google has cannabis store as a category, and then vitamins and supplements. If you just look in Google itself, wherever you are, and start searching for CBD stuff, you will see Google My Business listings coming up. And those Google My Business listings that come up, you can start spotting trends with what type of categories they are using in their listing. We've had a lot of success with the primary category as cannabis store and the secondary category as vitamins and supplements. I would say about an 80% success rate. However, you can go the other route and do vitamins and supplements as the primary category and cannabis store as the secondary category. And that works too, okay? But if you can, go for the cannabis store as the primary. Cannabis store primary, vits and sub secondary. For businesses that don't have an address, okay, let's say you're an e-commerce store and you want to Google My Business and you want all the business citations. One of the most important things for a business citation is to actually have a physical address, right? So what do you do if you're an e-commerce website and you don't have a physical address and you don't want to put your home address up on the website? Well, you can just get an address in a co-working space or a shared office. Now you can verify your Google My Business at that address. And we've had significant success with that, with using a co-working address as your business address and then verifying the GMB. And by doing so, you get a Google My Business. Now, this is a great way of having a Google My Business in big cities. Let's say, for example, you live in the middle of nowhere, but you've got this amazing CBD brand. Then you can just hire an office, rent an office in a big city, particularly through a co-working space, which is, from a price point of view, actually not that expensive. There are some really decent options out there, and you can use that address to verify your business. And there we go. You've got a Google My Business verified. And just keep an eye on those categories. And I forgot to mention one important point. This is really important, and can be the difference between getting your Google My Business listing either verified or not verified. And that's keyword stuffing in the business name. So look what other businesses are using in Google My Business before you add, best CBD gummies, New York, to your Google My Business. Just don't abuse the keyword stuffing in the business entity name when signing up for that Google My Business listing. Use your own name, use your brand name, and if you're feeling adventurous, you might want to put CBD in there as well. However, exercise caution. Keyword stuffing gets Google My Businesses shut down. So you've got to handle with care there, exercise some caution. Then we've gone over that. Right, links and paid traffic. So when you're building a link or when you are getting a link from another website to your website, you need to optimize that link too. So you've done all the work to optimize your website, which is great, but then you need to optimize where the link is coming from and how the link is built. So it's not just a case of getting a link and say, hey, dude, can you give me a link? It's a case of getting a highly optimized link from another really relevant piece of content that has been itself optimized. The URL has been optimized. The title has been optimized. The H1 needs to match the keyword that you're targeting on the page that you're trying to rank, etc., etc. So the optimization of the page that your link is coming from is also of equal importance, if not of vital importance, as to how much of a punch that link really packs. So again, you need links from sites that have relevance, trust, authority, and traffic. Traffic is a big one. The more traffic, the better. The more relevance, the better. The more trust and authority, the better. You can then build links behind the links that you've had built. Okay. Now I won't go into this because this in itself starts getting quite complicated, and it's in itself a whole few hours of explaining how to do this tiered linking behind your links. We won't go down that road today. Paid traffic. Now, getting traffic, I mentioned it before, driving free traffic from social to your website is really worth its weight in gold, because Google sees those signals and activity going on there. And then you can really justify all sorts of other things further on down the line, because Google has seen that there's been activity on your website and people visiting it and clicking around. And every time somebody clicks on something, by the way, those are micro conversions. Micro conversions help you rank. Okay, so one thing is for a person to land on your page and just scroll up and scroll down. Another thing is for somebody to land on your page and click on something and perform an action on your website, and then click again, and then do something else, and then do something else. The more actions and more micro conversions you have on your website or on a web page, the better it is. So obviously you don't want to have people clicking and bouncing around all over the place, but you need to keep in mind micro conversions on a piece of content on a page are really important. Now, paid traffic is really a decent way. There are all sorts of sources for paid traffic, also in the CBD space, by the way. Now, when we use paid traffic, I won't mention who or what or how. We use it particularly for the SEO strategy to get the right signals on the page. We're not necessarily trying to drive sales. We're not necessarily trying to drive conversions or anything like that. What we're trying to drive is to get people on the website and having activity on the website, because that itself is worth its weight in gold from a ranking perspective in Google. So you can get paid traffic sources just to get activity on the page and send the right signals to Google. When it comes to Facebook ads and all that stuff, again, speak to Matt and Aaron, because they're the Facebook ninjas and do amazing stuff there. So I won't even go down that road, because that's them and they do an amazing job. So engagement, right? You need to send traffic to the category pages. So these, like the whole thread that we followed throughout this presentation, talking about the category pages, you need to send traffic to those category pages before you start linking to them. You cannot justify 100 links, 1,000 links going to a category page before anybody's even visited it. Because how the hell are 1,000 people going to link to a page if you've only had 10 people on the page? How does that work? So you need to justify your links with traffic on the page. It's a bit of like the egg and the chicken, what comes first? But you have to get activity on the page. That's why I said driving free social organic traffic to your website early on when you start is worth its weight in gold further down the line, because you can really start being a whole lot more aggressive with your linking strategy, because you've already driven organic traffic and there's been activity on your website. There are also other ways that you can get traffic and signals. You can run push image ads if necessary for positive signals to Google. There are lots of things you can do if your conversion or objective is just having people on your website. Never mind buying, just having them there and getting activity on the site. Okay, this is very good for well-optimized websites that are new to start really gaining some traction in Google, just because there's activity on the page. And a lot of times getting paid traffic over there is worth its weight in gold. Use Google Tag Manager to track your micro conversions. And the more micro conversions you're having, the better you're going to rank. Yeah, to end the session on links, please, no spammy links, no spammy links, no spammy links. Yeah, if you only take one thing away with you today, let it be this: spammy links will kill your business. Cheap SEO will kill your business. Get links from relevant, trusted sources of authority, trusted sources in the CBD cannabis hemp industry that pass on link equity and traffic. Okay, relevant traffic. Yes, press releases, fine, good, do that. Get those news, those media outlets, get that, etc., etc. But stay away from the spammy stuff. Stay away from the dude that's in your inbox saying, I will give you this amount of links for this amount of money. I'm telling you now, that stuff, if it doesn't kill you today, it's going to kill you tomorrow. Don't go the spammy route. Traffic plus conversion equals sales. And you need a sexy website built for Google and humans. Matt?
That was awesome, Tom. Oh, man, I learned a lot. That was great. I'm over here taking notes. And I learned a couple things too. Don't play cards with Tom is one thing I learned. and no midget porn backlinks, people.
When you are choosing where to get a link from, one of your criteria should be relevance. Are they talking about CBD? Are they talking about cannabis or the cannabis industry? Are they talking about hemp? What are they talking about? What is the relevance there? And number two is, how much traffic do they have? Do they have any traffic? A lot of the time, there'll be some great content on the website, but they've got no traffic. So what's the point of getting a link from a website that doesn't have any traffic? Now, yes, if the website has amazing metrics, okay, there are PBN links and these websites that have amazing metrics, and we just sprinkle those on as like secret sauce as 1%, 2%, 3% of the type of links that you have to boost things. But you need to do all of the things first, and you need to do all of the things right. Once you've done all of the things right, you can then start sprinkling on some secret sauce and really doing some ninja stuff. But if you sprinkle on the secret sauce before you've done anything right, you're not going to get anywhere, because the secret sauce only works once you've actually done all of the things right. So do all the things right first, and then you can start going down the extreme ninja, midget porn links, etc., as you mentioned.
Gotcha. And Jordan, one of our members, commented, "Mind blown. Thanks, Tom. That was awesome." And Stuart said, "Thank you guys." And so, yeah, we appreciate you guys watching. And if any questions, fire away before we take off, because we're almost done here. So if you got any questions for Tom, fire away, people. We got a few people watching. But yeah, that was highly valuable. Just even for somebody that doesn't have a budget, it just takes time. Like even that, the one website you showed with the social media, I forgot what it was called, where you could just start plugging in all your social media accounts.
Yeah, knowem.com. That's KNOWEM.com. And yeah, you can literally just go in there and start building out those social profiles. That's an amazing resource. And then the business citation side, a lot of them are free as well. Google My Business, which is one of the strongest business citations, is free as well. If you do it right, it's the most powerful business citation you can get out there for building a business entity. So really get the GMB in there, but just do it right, as I mentioned. And get as many of those good free links as you can initially, and drive traffic from social. That's the best thing a new brand can do. And then for the more established brands, just get those ninja links and those ninja strategies in place. And any questions, please feel free to fire them my way. I'll be happy to help anybody out with any questions that they have, or any strategies that they would like me to have a look at and implement for them, or any sites that they're interested in having ranked and having my eyes on to get my expertise to help them do their thing.
That's awesome. And so what's the best way, if somebody wants to work with you on their SEO, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Okay, they can reach out to me directly on Facebook Messenger.
That sounds great, Tom. Really thank you for your time today. I know you're a busy man. You gave us so much value, man. So we really thanks again for giving all that information out. And reach out to me or Tom if you want to work with Tom. I'll connect you to him, or just reach directly out to Tom. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me as well. And we're happy to help you guys out. And like Tom has shown you, though, if you don't have the budget to work with Tom, you can do a lot of these things by yourself, and it just takes time and rolling your sleeves up. So get after it, people.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much, Matt. It's really been a pleasure to be here, and a privilege to have the opportunity to talk to your community. So thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Tom, and we'll see you again soon. And I'll be seeing you in Spain soon, hopefully within 6 months or so.
Amazing. Bring it on. Looking forward to that. Absolutely. Just tell me when. I'll be at the airport, man.
Awesome, brother. Thanks, man. And I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.